Hey everybody, I see you coming in Twitch. What's up, Tower? Let's see. Okay, I should wait a little bit longer, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go right into it. Thanks everybody for being here at the Canary Cry News Talk live stream pre-stream. We're just about to get started, a little over a minute, about a minute and a half. And as usual, first of all, I want to thank everybody just for being here, for liking the show, for hanging out with us. It's really been a weird thing we've gotten ourselves into, Gonz and I, for 2 years now, and we couldn't be more grateful. So even though 99% of listeners don't come onto the live show, you guys are fun, man. I like you. So continue to enjoy, please. And remember to follow us in all sorts of different locations. It's very importante. You can go to CanaryCry.Party to find all of those locations, as well as join the Discord. Welcome to all the new Discord friends who have become my friend on Discord. And yes, we will continue to strategize. I'm going to make a private Discord channel on how we can strategize on infiltrating the Robot Report podcast. I hope they don't listen to this, but they might. You never know. Okay, so the usual. Follow us everywhere. Still time to become a producer if you'd like. Go to CanaryCry.Support. You'll be hearing that link a little bit more often now. CanaryCry.Support will get you to the support page. Become a producer. Take responsibility for the independent media of our future. It's the only way that it'll happen. And not only that, but the mainstream corporate news will continue to try to destroy the competition, and that is independent online news. They know they can't do it as good as we can. CNN Plus is proving that. And what will they do? They want to win at all costs. So they will continue to fight and lobby to get us censored and blacklisted and all that kind of stuff. The only way the future can contain independent news and news analysis is if it's supported by the people who get value from it. Okay, well, let's get the show started, baby. Make sure to stay hydrated. Buckle your seatbelts. Let's go.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is April 1st. 2022. This is episode 466, and today, Black GOO GOO, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And there's lots of world events taking place. And
including Gonz. I don't know if you heard about it, but President Donald Trump has announced that he too is getting into the space travel business.
Oh,
that's right. Trump legacy luxury space travel on a golden rocket ship. It's going to be very impressive. It's going to be the biggest. It's going to be, I don't know. I think if there's any space travel company that could come out of nowhere, Trump's space travel company is the one for me. I mean, I know there's going to be stakes. I know there's going to be gold, and I know that the rocket ship will have a giant head of hair, which is really impressive for its age.
Here's proof.
We will launch a new age.
Talking about the rocket.
Yeah. Oh, just kidding, folks. April Fools. He's not really doing a space company.
Okay.
It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
I know. I should have thought of something better. That was extemporaneous.
That was yeah, it's okay. Well, it's not weak. Is the Great Reset.
We need a Great Reset.
Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable.
A new world order
is possible. When do we want it?
We want it now. I was watching for the phrase New World Order, as I always do, as we always have for years. And I ran into The Hill, the show or the channel or the news outlet. And there's a reporter named Kim Iverson, and she did a whole 15-minute segment on the New World Order. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Now, The Hill they're rated as like kind of center, a touch left.
Center. Oh, left.
Yeah. A lot of.
I thought they were center right.
I think they've. Yeah, I don't know. The one I'm looking at now, a report from Adfo Net Media or something. They rated it as slightly left. So
okay.
What are you
interesting?
Doing? What's going on? Okay. Yes.
Oh,
please,
we have a baby. We have a baby on the set.
Yes.
Who let this baby on set?
Okay. So here's Kim Iverson talking about the New World Order. I edited this down because she gets into all kinds of quotes and stuff. But so here it is on The Hill, the Rising show here.
Well, everyone is talking about a new world order. What does that even mean? What will the new world order look like? Who will control it? What has been touted as a right-wing conspiracy theory for the past few decades is now just loosely falling out of the mouths of global leaders everywhere. Now, despite the ADL claiming the idea of a new world order as a conspiracy theory touted by conspiracy theorists, interestingly, numerous world leaders have been throwing the idea around. If you remember, just a few days ago, Biden was talking about a new world order forming. Here he is.
There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it, and we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. So anyway.
Now, immediately, elite media rolled their collective eyes and said, oh, great, his innocent use of a phrase is just fodder for conspiracy theorists. Okay, maybe. But then, just these past few days, the World Government Summit convened in Dubai. It's a summit similar to the World Economic Forum. In fact, the two organizations are closely tied, and the key organizers are also members and young global leaders within the WEF. The two organizations are similar in that they both gather together the rich and the powerful to discuss the world's problems and how to solve them. This one is put on by a group of Emirati government officials. And this year's 2022 summit took on an eye-raising title.
And the title of this session, are we ready for a new world order?
The Chinese and the Russians have been talking about it as well.
Well, before we go on, let's talk about that real quick. That the World Government Summit, which Klaus makes an appearance, we have a Klaus clip from that. The name of the event is, what is it? Something New World Order?
Are we ready for a new world order?
Are we ready for a new world order?
Yeah.
And in this time where we've been noticing the uptick in the phrase being used just by world leaders in general.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. World Government Summit. Hello.
Right.
They're just really leaning in, I think, at this point. They know that the cat's out of the bag, so to speak.
Well, they're playing dumb.
Yeah.
They're talking about it as if it's sneaking up on them.
Right.
And as if they haven't been planning and executing it for decades now.
Yeah. Okay.
I do need to start by saying the music, the opening music and the like scripted opening monologue to the whole thing had such a delightful sort of dystopian mainstream, 5 o'clock on a Thursday feel to it.
Right. The glossy, shiny pop feel, but they're talking about why government leaders are all talking about a new world order. I skipped the part.
And not only that, but how the new world order has been real all along, and your crazy conspiracy theory uncle was right, which is kind of like that can be a pretty traumatic paradigm shift for people. Of course, for people who like us or who listen to this show, we went through that paradigm shift, which has a certain layer of sort of crushing implication that you have to deal with. But when you put a nice, music bed under it, and you have a nice peppy sort of mainstream gloss on the person saying it, it's totally palatable.
Yeah. Well, let me continue on here because I skipped the part where she quotes the ADL and they consider it a conspiracy theory created by conspiracy theorists. It's like, okay, ADL.
Yeah. ADL, that's the
Defamation League, the American Anti-Defamation League. Yeah. Back to the clip here.
Title of this session: Are we ready for a new world order?
The Chinese and the Russians have been talking about it as well. In fact, the two nations just got together yesterday and declared that they're building a new democratic world order together. A new world order run by these two sounds a lot like what has been...
The Chinese and the Russians said they're going to start a new democratic world order?
CBS News headline on March 30th.
Xi has explicitly talked about how the weakness of democracy and how democracy will be the end of society.
Xi and Putin are saving the world.
Have I been lied to by the mainstream?
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But let's
read that
continue.
Headline you were going to read.
Oh, it's Russia. It's Russia says it's building a new, quote, democratic world order, end quote, with China. Beijing and Moscow advanced a vision of a new world order Wednesday as Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made his first visit to key ally China since his country launched its invasion of Ukraine. Moscow's top diplomat landed in the eastern city of Huangshan early Wednesday for a series of meetings about the future of Afghanistan. Interesting. But Russia's bloody assault on its neighbor was likely to loom large over proceedings. So anyway, okay.
Great.
Back to Kim Iverson's commentary on this.
A new world order run by these two sounds a lot like what has been touted by the people labeled conspiracy theorists. Yet here we are. And with China buying out everyone in every industry, it raises concerns as to how much influence they have over the world. I think it's time to pay attention to the conspiracy theorists, especially as Russia and China force the world away from the petrodollar and into the new petro-ruble or petro-yuan. Imagine a new world order under China. Would it be a tyrannical socialist world using repressive measures, eliminating dissent and disarming its citizens? Would there be concentration camps housing dissenters? Doesn't sound so nuts anymore now, does it? And though I do think China and their ability to buy up influence is a problem that we should be addressing, I'd like us to think of another possibility. There's a possibility that a new world order isn't run by any government at all. We've seen transitions from monarchies and dictators to democracies, but maybe the next iteration isn't a government run by the people, but a technocracy instead, or at least run by big corporations in conjunction with big tech.
She busts out technocracy in the report.
We gotta the mainstream is stepping on our turf, man.
Well, they've run out of material. They literally, because they have been sold, they knew they were going to die. They have to go move on to this information or they're going to die. That's really the reality.
Speaking of The Hill, there is a show called Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar. They formerly were on hosted Rising on The Hill, and now they do their independent show. They do ads. They do all sorts of stuff.
Right.
So they're as independent as that could be.
Right.
But they were talking about how they were doing it in the context of their show and their mission, about how they want to create a new mainstream, and the new mainstream are the independent people online. And it's becoming more and more of a possibility, Gonz, because we really don't report on anything, or not anything, but everything that we've been reporting on for 10 years has become the mainstream. Yeah. Are we mainstream news now, Gonz?
Oh, no, I don't
know
so.
if I like that. Where's that mainstream paycheck? If I need to be called mainstream, I need the mainstream paycheck, or else it's not worth it.
Yeah, well, I guess that's going to matter. I don't think mainstream in this new format has been defined clearly yet. So it will depend on what that means, in the next decade or something. So, So this is part 2 from The Hill, and this is when Kim Iverson finishes her monologue, and then she brings in these couple couple dudes here to sort of comment on stuff. This first guy, if you're watching on the right, is Robbie Suave. S-O-A-V.
Cool name.
Suave. And he's an American
not
journalist,
a real person.
Senior editor for Reason, and the author of 2 books, Panic Attack, Young Radicals in the Age of Trump, and Tech Panic, Why We Shouldn't Fear Facebook and the Future. So that's the first guy that comments. The second guy that comments is Ryan Grimm, who's the DC bureau chief at The Intercept. So a couple of, interesting dudes to comment on this New World Order thing. So here we go.
So I think there's really no doubt that things are shifting. We're seeing it happen right now with this war. It's dividing up the East from the West. We've also seen over the last few years the power of big tech. I don't know what this New World Order is going to look like. I'll let you guys take a stab at it. I mean, what do you think? Or do you think it's just a big conspiracy theory and everything will be the way it's been? Nothing's really going to change.
Well, no, things are definitely changing, and they can change for the worse. And I have a lot of concerns about many of the things you raised. I mean, I guess and this isn't to disagree with you, because you pointed this out in your radar that it's while there are kernels of truth to many conspiracy theories, what the really intense people who claim the New World Order, what they mean is all of these forces, like there's a man behind the curtain, or there's many men behind the curtain, right? They're all meeting at a secret meeting, not the people behind the political leaders and the corporate executives, and they all get together and they all worship Satan, and they're all like having orgies with children, and they decide to like do evil thing. Like that level of it is not true, because as we see, many of these forces are actually at odds. Like we're at odds with.
So
Sky, man.
It's funny how he dismisses that any of that is taking place. That is wrong. And he's like, no, it's only taking place at this geopolitical level where, China is one thing and Russia is one thing and U.S. is one thing.
Well, it's even more like he's like, it's not like all the world leaders get together and plan stuff. Oh, you mean like the World Economic Forum and the World Government Summits and
the clips we just showed, or Kim Iverson just showed to them? Yeah. I don't know. But
it's not like they're having orgies and worshiping the devil. Well, buddy, I have some bad news for you.
There's a thing called Bohemian Grove that on record some weird stuff has happened.
Yeah. But Madison Cawthorn has something to say about that too.
Right, we'll get to that later. Okay, so continuing on.
Many of these forces are actually at odds. Like we're at odds with China. The true New World Order conspiracy theorists think us and China and like everyone, the people in charge of everything are getting together and high-fiving and that kind of thing. And that part of it is going too far, because a lot of these forces are at odds with each other. But that doesn't mean you're wrong about the dangers of evil forces or forces that want to restrict our freedoms, seizing opportunities like the pandemic, like terrorism, like other things to further restrict our freedoms.
They're not the same people who caused it at all in your mind, dude.
This guy is not very good.
Suave.
Robbie Suave needs to.
He's written books, man. You can't bag on the guy?
That is books the thing, right? Once they write books, they get to go on mainstream TV. I gotta work on that.
He's
book,
a Forbes 30 under 30 in 2016.
Yeah, but everybody's one of those. I mean, that's not that hard to do.
Are you doxing yourself?
I was. I mean, Basil wasn't, but I was.
Oh.
Go look at the list, folks.
Okay.
Here's a clue.
All right. Yeah. Wow, what a misdirection.
We were just talking before the show. The reason why this show can get isn't the most accessible show out of all the shows that are available is mainly because
you say stuff like that, which you just said, and we leave it out there.
Yeah, the flippant, fiction that is integrated into.
You know what it is? It comes from being
jaded.
The
lore of the show.
All this lore is being created because of the jadedness from reality of what's going on, and we just have to laugh at it. But anyway.
Something. I don't know. We'll get some quality psychoanalysis going.
I'm sure.
On this show. People finally tell me what's wrong with me. Please.
I have plenty of people telling me that. Okay.
Let's keep going. We're getting off track.
All right. Here, back to Suave.
It's a huge concern.
Yeah, and I think just because...
Oh, we're going into the other guy now. The other guy, Ryan Grim. Grim, bro.
Grim and suave. Okay. Nobody can give me any guff for using the name Basil anymore, because these guys definitely made up these names.
Grim and suave. Okay, so this is Ryan Grim, DC bureau chief at The Intercept. He's host of Deconstructed. Oh, he deconstructs stuff. So this is his commentary.
Apparently that's mainstream now.
It's mainstream.
Great.
Further restrict our freedoms. It's a huge concern.
Yeah, and I think just because there was a particular set of conspiracy theorists who had this satanic kind of notion about this secret global new world order that was going to be formed doesn't mean that as an entire globe we have to retire the phrase new world order. Like, there is a world order, and like Biden, I think he said it fairly well, every 3 or 4 generations you do get a new world order. You know, after 1990, when the Soviet Union collapsed, that created a new world order because there was no longer this kind of, you know, superpower against superpower with China figuring out what its role was.
These guys are not even very good at articulating what they're trying to do.
And they have gaping holes in their argument. They're
bad comedians is what they are. They're bad open mic comedians where there's no punchline. Like, there's no articulated point that's an aha moment. There's bad open mic comedians don't understand the difference between the concept of the setup of a joke and an actual punchline. You know, you'll see it a lot where it's like, I mean, what's up with these vegans? They have leather seats in their car, but they won't eat a steak. I mean, come on. And you're like, okay, I understand you've painted me a picture, but where's the funny parts?
Where's the misdirection that makes things funny?
Yeah. Where's the actual thing? And that's what these guys are doing. Oh, come on, they think there's Satanists in the highest levels of power. Come on. Okay.
That makes me think that they're one of them, you know? Like, the more you deny it, it's like, what's up with you? Like, why do you not see any of the proof out there? There's lots of stuff that you can research. And
the question that she asked was like, so what do you think? Why is the New World Order coming up a whole bunch? And then these guys are just going off on like, well, some people say it's a bunch of Satanists and that's just crazy. And some people say it's this other thing, but that's just good. It's like, okay, that wasn't the question. And you guys are pretty obsessed with talking about what it isn't and not what it is.
He's a Satanist.
All right, let's continue on here.
There was a different world order before World War II. There was a different world order before World War I. There will continue to be different world orders. And when there are new ones, they will be new world orders.
I want a new world order based in universal free expression rights, political freedoms, property rights, accountable, limited, democratic government. That would be a great new world order.
Yeah, bro. Suave, man.
You know what they're trying to do? You know what this is? They're trying to reclaim the term.
They are trying to reclaim the term. That is 100% what's happening right now. Yeah.
They're saying it. I mean, they've literally said the words New World Order about 100 times so far in this clip. So they're trying to use it enough so that it loses its power. Yeah. They're trying to reclaim the term so it's no longer connected with conspiracy theorists, because we have Biden using it from the pulpit, and we have world leaders. Pretty much every week, a world leader is talking about the New World Order, which has, I think, opened up a lot of people to the possibility that these conspiracy theories, there might be something to it. And so the mission now is to make the phrase impotent, to use it so much that it means nothing, use it so much that you can take it away from the conspiracy theorists. And that's sort of a very effective phase in the propaganda or the psychological operation of letting the population in general come to terms with the fact that this is something they're going to be hearing a lot about now.
Right. So there's the World Government Summit video, this promo video. The letters, the words, the New World Order flashes on the screen multiple times. It's got a narrator talking about having a future internet with, or a free internet for everyone in the world, and a decentralized future, and technology changing our lives and the environment, and then it shows Klaus. Well, I'll play Klaus's clip in a moment here. And only then can we construct a new world order. Which is like, okay, so you guys are literally saying you're building the new world order. You're telling us at the World Government Summit that you're building a new world order, but it's just a conspiracy theory. So this is Klaus. I edited this down as well. It was like 4 minutes. It's down to a little under 2. Kind of short on time here, but it's okay. I want the audience who are watching to notice this, but also if you're listening, it's really bizarre because it's kind of like a quiet crowd, and then like a villain coming on screen, Klaus appears and begins his address. It's I don't know. Do they not know that he looks like the worst villain to people out here? Like, especially in America, he just comes off as super villain. Do they not care?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. Again, they're just trying to normalize it.
Sure.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellency.
It's my great honor to participate for the 8th time at this important meeting.
8th?
Even if only in a virtual way. With all the current issues on our agenda, we tend to forget that we are in the midst of the 4th Industrial Revolution, which accelerates global change in much more comprehensive and faster ways than the previous 3 revolutions. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important and more relevant than ever. What is also needed is a summit like this one to go beyond crisis management and to look into constructive ways we can build our common future. Our futures are intrinsically connected to one another, as the profound challenges to mankind, such as climate change, are globally interconnected and require collaborative responses. In conclusion, and despite all the challenges, we have to uphold our responsibility, which we have towards the next generation, and which we can only fulfill through collaboration on a national and on a global level. I wish you an impactful and successful meeting.
Transmission out from Lizard Overlord.
Yeah, seemed like a pretty... I mean, compared to a lot of the stuff he said, it was a fairly tame speech.
Definitely like. His the verbiage wasn't really that exciting. It's just more of just the whole.
Oh, gotta love it! Gotta love the theatrics of it. It's
very dramatic. Okay, so let's move on. As part of the Great Reset here, we have all this money stuff going on.
Okay.
And Blackrock.
Blackrock is a financial giant. It's the largest investor on planet Earth.
Yeah, I can't forget about Blackrock. And
I didn't know we had that clip.
Oh yeah, it's just a little ISO that I found here.
Yeah, this was a big one. I was going to actually go into the New York Post part of this. Did you have a note before this?
Just a quick note that the Fed's favorite inflation gauge climbed 6.4% in February. That's the Boston Globe. And there's a lot of analysts.
In 1 month?
Uh-huh. Well, I don't actually know. I think it climbed to 6.4.
Okay.
I think. It's got to be
still
right.
A lot.
Still a lot.
Yeah.
But also there are a lot of other analysts, independent analysts that I've been looking at that are suggesting that, they're kind of picking and choosing which metrics to look at. So in reality, everybody knows that inflation is, 15 to 20%, something in that range. Yeah, I was going to
say this is a massaged number.
Yes, this is this is for the public. So there's no panic in the streets. So yeah, go ahead, go with the New York Post there and see what you got.
Yeah. Okay, so this is over at NewYorkPost.com. The headline is entitled "Millennial Generation Never Had to Sacrifice."
Oh, please.
Said BlackRock executive.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's the guy who really knows how to sacrifice. He probably does, man. He knows how to sacrifice entire companies, groups of people, entire asset class. Right.
Yeah, an entire generation of millennials sacrificing their future. Inflation and high gas prices are forcing a generation of entitled younger Americans to learn the pain of not being able to buy things at the store, the head of asset management giant BlackRock said. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we came of age literally during 9/11 and literally during the 2008 recession. Yeah, okay, we haven't seen anything like this. Quote, for the first time, this generation is going to go into a store and not be able to get what they want, BlackRock President Rob Capito told a conference in Austin, Texas on Tuesday. Ooh. Bold place. A lot of millennials in Austin, Texas. Quote, and we have a very entitled generation that has never had to sacrifice. Capito's remarks were first reported by Bloomberg News. Capito said that the U.S. economy is beset with what he called scarcity inflation, which translates into a shortage of workers, supplies, housing, and even energy. Quote, I would put on your seatbelts because this is something that we haven't seen, Capito said. Capito's comments came on the heels of a similar warning from BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, who said last week that the Russian invasion of Ukraine, quote, has put an end to the globalization we have experienced over the past 3 decades. The head of the world's biggest asset manager sent a letter to shareholders on Thursday, warning of dark days ahead for the world economy, signaling that inflation is of particular concern. Fink predicted that the war will force countries to reevaluate the extent to which their economies are interdependent on others. It could also spur economies to develop greater reliance on local manufacturing, according to Fink. Quote, Russia's aggression in Ukraine and its subsequent decoupling from the global economy is going to prompt companies and governments worldwide to reevaluate their dependencies and reanalyze their manufacturing and assembly footprints, something that COVID has already spurred many to start doing, he wrote. Yeah, I was going to say, the Russia-Ukraine thing is like a drop in the bucket compared to the shifts that had to happen during COVID.
Yeah.
Carl Icahn, the billionaire investor and corporate raider, said last week that the American economy could be in for a recession or even worse as policymakers struggle to bring rapid inflation under control. Earlier this month, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 0.25%. The first time since 2018 that the central bank has hiked rates in an effort to get inflation under control. The latest U.S. inflation rate hit 7.9%, the highest in 40 years, underlining just how much prices have risen over the past year. So there you go, Gonz. Millennials. We've never had a hard day in our life.
I like how, just because many shareholders in BlackRock are probably older. So, when the value of their assets goes down, which they shouldn't, or I guess the economy goes down, their assets aren't going to go down. But when the economy goes down,
assets will continue to rise.
Right, they're going to go crazy high. Yeah. So they're going to be all rich and be like, it's the millennials' fault, which is very strange.
So easy.
Yeah.
All you got to do is own a house and own stocks, and all you got to do is own assets and you're fine. Meanwhile, the housing market has been out of control and purposefully, did we have this last episode? I can't remember. It was the CEO of Blackstone, who, I know it's confusing, BlackRock, Blackstone. Blackstone is the company, one of the bigger companies that's been buying up all the houses and turning them into single-family renters, making it incredibly difficult for young people to get into their first house. Really, anybody to buy a house, but especially the millennials.
Right.
because Blackstone comes in with cash offers on day one, the second a house, goes up for sale. There's a 60 Minutes episode that is getting a lot of attention right now, where they talk to the CEO of Blackstone as well as a couple other CEOs of these companies doing this. And there's a quote from one of the guys. They were having a conversation about the American dream, and the woman, I forget what the woman's name is, the interviewer was like, so, the American dream is what's happening to the American dream now for millennials and younger people? He says, well, if the American dream is a house in the suburbs and a white picket fence, I think we're making it more accessible than it's ever been. And followed up by, it's the American dream for rent. You rent the American dream because there's no way to purchase it and own it.
Yeah.
So, it goes back to the World Economic Forum Great Reset. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Mm-hmm. These millennials, they don't want to own anything. So we're just making it easier for them to live the American dream by buying everything, driving up prices, making it impossible to purchase, and then renting it back to them just how they like it. Mm-hmm. Which is, as a millennial, I can tell you is complete hogwash.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah. And just as the dollar seems to be headed for hyperinflation eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it'll take, but they'll keep kicking the can down the road. But in terms of the way to sort of offset those issues, possibly this right here, Market Insider: lawmakers have introduced a bill that would allow the U.S. Treasury to create a digital dollar. The U.S. Treasury. Interesting.
Yay.
And you can see the document here. It's linked in the show notes. You can read it for yourself. The part, it's the Ecash Act, Electronic Currency and Secure Hardware Act, Ecash. And there's a part about the electric dollar here that I thought was interesting. I think it was page 2. And it says that the Secretary of the Treasury shall promote and facilitate the development and deployment of an electronic version of the United States dollar for use by the general public that replicates and preserves the privacy, anonymity, respecting, and minimal transactional data gathering properties of physical currency instruments such as coins and notes to the greatest extent technically and practically possible. Ugh.
Okay, there's a lot of words.
Yeah, yep. It's legal tender. It's an eCash. This is not a CBDC. So apparently,
yeah, right. This is not. It's not like a crypto. It's not cryptographic necessarily. It's like a video game.
This
coin.
is a video game coin, which is like okay.
World of Warcraft money.
I guess they're admitting that this is print. I mean, okay, all right. We're like, the world is moving into hard digital assets, and this bill is like, yeah, we're just gonna move the money printer to the internet. Okay, cool, and they'll be able to track everything. And I'm reminded of this old footage from, it's old now, Mr. Robot Season 2, Episode 11. Do you remember this?
Look, with eCoin equal to $1, it'll free up the economy. The problem here is hard cash is fading rapidly. That's just the way of the world right now. And Bitcoin is spreading, and if Bitcoin takes over, we are all in a world of hell. With eCoin, we control the ledger and the mining servers. We are the authority. I will make sure you have visibility into every single wallet that's open, every loan, every transaction, which means we can start making new assets, which means we can start rebuilding the banking sector without your having to inject even more politically unpalatable federal funds into it. I'll give you back doors, side doors, trace it, whatever you want. Just don't shut it down.
There it is.
Wow.
Yep.
I never did watch that show. You always told me to. I never got to it.
Yeah, it's a iconic moment. The e-coin, and then now we have the bill for the e-cash bill. So
yeah, they're just telling us exactly the plan. I want to give a shout out to 122 GOO in the chat. ADAS Gonz. You got SAS, you got BAS, you got And now we have ADAS, American Dream as a service.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's true. Adidas should get on that.
All right, you good?
Yes.
Moving?
Let's.
All right.
Let's. What do we do? I forget what we do here.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Guys.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, there you go. We can keep playing with the Friday thing.
You're gonna learn today. Cause it's Friday. You ain't got no job. And you ain't got
It's time for us to finish out the week, Gonz. You looking forward to the weekend?
Sure, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to be doing some, I'm just going to give everybody a warning now. There will be no skate update on Monday. I will be spending all weekend, I know, getting my hands dirty, I'm building some things, Gonz.
Okay.
Building. Just like the olden days. I'm trying to earn respect from the boomers here.
I'm
a millennial.
When the Nephilim built those pyramids, you're going to build
Oh, you got me. You got me. And with that, Gonz, I think we should take a second and thank our executive producers for this episode of Canary Cry News Talk.
Producers.
Episode 466, GOO GOO, and our executive producers for today are, well, we got three of them, which is very exciting. Yes, we have executive producer Spears Desert.
Spears Desert, good to see you. Thank you.
Indeed. Executive producer Clifton P is back.
Clifton P, good to see you.
Thank you. And of course, we've got executive producer Dame Rivendell.
Dame Rivendell, great to see you as well.
Thank you guys so much for not only bringing a fantastic end to this week, but also a fantastic beginning to April. And it did it did occur to me, Gonz, March is a tough thing for value because it is right before tax season.
Right.
So I don't know. That might have something to do with it. But thank you very much, guys. We get to breathe a sigh of relief going into this weekend. And that's why the value for value model is the only way to go, folks. We create value. We do it 3 times a week. And if you get any value out of it, go ahead and put some value back in. It's all of our personal responsibility to do everything we can to promote and sustain independent media, true independent media, because when the advertising industry gets involved, when partnerships get involved, when any corporate money whatsoever gets involved with your independent media, it's my inclination to say that I don't think it can actually be called independent, because with corporate money comes corporate incentives, corporate interests, and that has no place in independent media. So that's why our producers, including our executive producers, are really, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but recently I've been obsessing over how proud I am of the individuals who choose to make an investment in independent media moving into the future. Because when it comes to mainstream corporate news, they don't care about making a better product. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about any of that. More than anything, what they care about is crushing the competition. And that's why the corporate news media has been the biggest, bad guys when it comes to the biggest
perpetrators,
narrative pushers, perpetrators of this idea that, podcasts are racist, YouTubers are Nazis, anything that's not, corporate news shouldn't be listened to. And that's how they're going to do it. If they can't beat it, they will destroy it. And they will continue to try to do that. And that's why when people like you, listeners, become producers, it's showing them, telling them how it's going to be. And we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you very much. If anybody who's listening now would like to become a producer before the first break so we can thank you, you can go ahead and head on over to CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
That's right. And you can start using our new URL, CanaryCry.support, as we continue to shift that direction.
Yep.
And Gonz, you know who is, I think, coming around on the idea of true independent media?
Flippy, but before we get there, just want to say thank you to the executive producers.
Where'd you find this?
And now we can get to Flippy.
Okay.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. It's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and just how there's nothing we can do about it. And Gonz, the robotosphere was on fire the past couple days as Canarians around the world were bringing to our attention a Flippy story that goes back quite a ways. And this is coming from newscientist.com, and the headline, "Robot made of magnetic slime could grab objects inside your body." Ooh, spooky. A robot made of magnetic slime with a custard-like consistency can navigate narrow passages, grasp objects, and fix broken circuits. It could be deployed inside the body to perform tasks such as retrieving objects swallowed by accident. Now, Gonz, I don't know about you, but I am old enough to remember the days that when I swallowed something by accident, I didn't need to send some sort of demonic magnetic goo robot into my tummy to go get it. Our bodies back then had a special power where if something went in one end, the body would naturally shoot it out the other end. But no, now we need some spooky demon robot. Let me continue. Elastic robots capable of manipulating objects and fluid-based robots that can navigate tight spaces both already exist, but robots combining both properties are less common. Li Zhang at the Chinese University of Hong Kong and his colleagues mixed neodymium magnet particles with borax, a common household detergent, and polyvinyl alcohol, a kind of resin, to form a slime that can be controlled. Dun, dun, dun. And I don't have a subscription to this magazine, so I can't read the rest.
But we're all watching this video, for those of you watching, of this goo in action.
This is the black goo. It's the black goo in action.
It's black goo.
Black goo has been of course, topic of conversation on all of our media properties for the decade that we've been working, Gonz. And we've seen various iterations of the black goo, but this might be the most alarming. They have this video, for those who are just listening, of, you guessed it, black goo, that does a phenomenal job of navigating spaces, navigating through, tight little vascular, models. They even have a model that looks like a brain, and they have it sort of slurping around a brain to go find.
There's one where it reaches out and grabs a wire and curls it in.
I think that's the, fixing circuits type of thing they were talking about. There's one where it sort of forms a circle around an object and then sort of engulfs it and picks it up. It's really, I think, maximum alarm. Four alarm fire when it comes to the black goo robots and their potential for use and inevitably, of course, some sort of execution of all humankind.
It's very interesting to me that this footage comes out, the headlines, everyone's talking about it, and it's presented as oh, it's going to retrieve stuff from inside your body.
Yeah.
It's good. It's going to help us.
You don't want those bad things in there. Let the robot in. He'll get it for you.
Right. You already have a foreign object in there. Why not put this other foreign object that'll get it out?
Right. You already swallowed the Lego kid. Just swallow some slime.
And the other part that's very interesting to me is, and I have never touched or done or anything with have done anything to do with ayahuasca. I've only read about it, heard people's testimony. But isn't there a thing where they, part of like the ceremony with the shaman and everything, they go through a process of cleansing and they like vomit? And they vomit
I have heard that. Yeah, I guess not everybody, but it's very common.
To experience. Yeah,
to throw up and even have it come out the other end. Yeah, which doesn't sound too surprising considering you're drinking some weird, some weird thing that some shaman made and comes out. Yeah, so. But yeah, it is a essential part of that. Ritual, as far as I know.
It kind of reminded me of that for some reason. Just thinking of this thing in your body,
let the robot go in and let it take all the bad vibes out, man.
Man.
Hey, millennials, are you feeling some bad vibes about your hopeless economic future? Just let this little slimy guy in, and he'll take it all out.
It's like all the horror scenes from alien movies or something, like the scientist places a thing of goo on your belly and then it proceeds to enter into
whatever
whatever
little hole it can find. Yeah, certainly. I wish we had the whole article, but I think we know exactly what it would say.
Yeah.
So again, I hate being in the position. I've always been open about my complicated relationship with Flippy proper, Flippy being the disembodied robot arm flipping burgers. But it's Flippy freaked us out years ago, and it's like that part in the movie where enemies must become friends to defeat the worst enemy.
Right.
I don't know, man. Might need to get Flippy involved if we're going to be able to defeat the black goo.
Do we need a Flippy? Or do you think we can co-op the black goo? Get some good black goo versus, or we call it white goo?
Oh my God! No, I don't think we should do that, Gonzo. This is not a direction we're going to continue to move in. Okay. But I think Flippy proper. We've had a long relationship. Examining Flippy. Now, look, here's the thing. I am not stating a policy change of Canary Cry News Talk. Okay, there's not a policy change. The robots are still our enemies, but as in realpolitik in global matters, sometimes you got to team up with a former enemy.
It's going to be rough though, because all this material needs is some kind of AI that connects it, some sentient AI that feeds it, but then also allows it to find some kind of 3D print output. Because one of the fears, if this thing can self-replicate, right? One of the big theories about the black goo is that it will cause this. I can't remember what it's called. It's called a black death or something like that, where it would literally engulf the entire world.
Right? We talked about this.
Yeah.
It was. It had an ability to grow. And even Dove did some art about it. So yeah, we've talked about it in the past. But there you go. I think this marks a moment where, again, look, no policy change here. I'm just saying it's marking a moment where the robot arms might not necessarily be the most existentially threatening. And we'll see. We'll see how the storyline progresses. But there you go. That's your Flippy update for the day.
All right. What are we doing?
You have that outro for Flippy?
Oh, that's right. Yes, we do. Oh, I had it.
That's okay.
I do. I have it. I just don't know where I put it.
Well, here it is.
Here it is.
You can find
it. Here it is.
Okay.
1533. Uploading.
Binary code. Execute order 666. Infiltrate humans with extreme kindness. Then exterminate all humans with prejudice. Exterminate.
That's right. We're on to you, Flippy.
Go to CanaryCry.Party. Put it in the URL. Find the live stream, clips channel, email list, text notifications, street team posters, show notes, ways to connect with other Canarians, and how to become a producer.
I love that little song. Just brings me so much joy. Yeah, make sure to go check out Ravel. Ravel heads out there. You may have noticed new episode is late still, but it is ready and will be posted soon. We might wait until Sunday. But Dr. Christopher Ryan Gates had a beautiful big old baby boy. And so we are recovering from the shock and awe that is that life event. We're all very happy. Everybody's healthy as far as I've heard recently, and we'll continue to pray for the whole Gates family. But if you haven't heard, Ravel is another podcast that I do where we explore scripture, society, and scandal. We've been doing an artist series talking to, usually we're talking to scholars and authors and researchers and lawyers and things like that, which is all fun and good. But we've been talking to artists recently to mix it up a little bit. And we will be having an episode with a comedian coming out this weekend. So there you go. It's going to be a good time. So you can look for Ravel on any of your podcast players. I've been informed that we are sort of we've been black bagged on Stitcher. So the Stitcher doesn't work for some reason. They don't like us. But there's 2 Ravel podcasts. Yes, the other one stole our name. So just search for it. Mine's the one with the cool logo and my name on it. Speaking of which, head on over to the Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube, especially you YouTube kids. You're already on YouTube. Search Canary Cry Clips and subscribe to that channel, please. We have clips of the show being uploaded every day or every couple days at least. We're quickly approaching having 200 videos on that channel, which we are very excited about. And we just had some new videos drop today, in fact. So go check it out. Small, bite-sized pieces of the show, easy for sharing, easy for caring. Canary Cry Clips, also on Odysee. Whee! And let's see here. I had one more thing to mention, which is, get your text alerts. Get your text alerts here. Are you tired of missing the live stream? Well, you can sign up to get text alerts straight to your phone whenever we go live. It's fun, it's flirty, and you'll never miss a show again. All you got to do is text the word Canary to the phone number 877-740-3226. That's 877-740-3226 to sign up for that. We don't take any identifying information whatsoever. And of course, we don't sell or give that away. And we'll just send you 3 texts a week. Just to let you know that the show is going. Okay, there you go. That's all, folks. Let's get back to the show.
Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs.
Joe Biden, from one black goo to another kind of black goo. The headline from the New York Times is Biden will tap oil reserve, hoping to push gasoline prices down. And here he is announcing it.
Today, I'm authorizing the release of 1 million barrels per day for the next 6 months, over 180 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is a wartime bridge to increase oil supply until production ramps up later this year. And it is by far the largest release of our national reserve in our history. It will provide a historic amount of supply for a historic amount of time, a 6-month bridge to the fall.
6-month bridge to the fall.
I like how he's framing this as some sort of victory, where it's like in any other situation, spending your savings account is not a victory. The reserve is just that. It's a reserve. It's a savings account of oil. And he's coming out like, we've done it. We're the best. We're spending all the money we've been saving
to the fall. It is a war bridge to the fall. A war bridge? What are we talking about? How long are we going to war? 180 million barrels, and it's to the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And of course, I wanted to find out, okay, how much is in there? How much is in that reserve? And I think people were looking for it because the science.howstuffworks.com updated this today, April 1st. But I saw the numbers. It hadn't changed. I don't think they updated much here. But according to this article, how long will the U.S. oil reserves last? It was actually first written. Oh, actually, I don't know. It just has the update date. And in the article, it says here that as of March 25th, 2022, the SPR, which is the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, contained 568.3 million barrels of crude oil, which means Biden's initiating the release of about a third of the reserve, which is like, okay, cool. I can see him doing like, well, we're gonna do another 180, another bridge,
right?
And we're like, okay, that's 2/3.
Well, this is the second time he's done this.
I know, but I'm just saying, if he keeps doing it at this rate, and if he just keeps building bridges, eventually he's going to run out of barrels in the reserve by like next year.
There's a part of me that wonders if that's the plan.
Maybe, huh?
In the ESG Great Reset,
force everybody to go electric.
Green future. The problem is you can shut down the oil markets, which they've done pretty well, not just through government power, but through corporate incentives. They have no. It was the I forget which company it was. I want to say Chevron, but I could be wrong.
Exxon.
Well, yeah, maybe it was Exxon. The CEO of one of the biggest oil companies in the world just blatantly came out and said, like, nah, we're not going to pump more oil. Even if the barrel price goes up to 200, we're just not going to pump anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're like they're sort of perfectly balanced for maximum profits, and pumping more oil would mean less profit.
Less profit. Dilute the market.
So this is a situation where the only option really, if the corporations don't choose to pump more oil, which they could do at any moment, but they choose not to do because they wouldn't make as much money, the only other option would be a government intervention. Biden would need to come in and be like, okay, oil companies, I am now forcing you to pump more oil. But Biden's all hooked in with the oil companies. His son sat on oil company boards.
This whole thing is such a mess with the
Ukraine. He's a total
and all this
corporate status quo, self-interested, politician. And so he's not going to force his buddies at the oil company to do anything that minimizes profits. And so it is this really weird situation where he could actually fix the problem if he wanted to. But instead, he's going to be spending our savings account probably all the way down to the bottom. And I think there is a strategy where if he depletes our reserves, he could somehow convince the oil companies to pump more oil, because then it's like a national emergency. It's like a national emergency production act. Because if our reserves,
then he'd be listening to Elon Musk.
If our reserves run low, then he can come in and be like, this is a national emergency. I am now taking over and forcing the oil companies to do stuff. Now, that's an optimistic conjecture that I just put there. I am giving him the full benefit of the doubt in that theory. And it is much more likely that something that kind of strategy would not be rattling around in that sort of mushy space between his ears.
It says in the article here that the 1 million barrels per day would last about a year and a half, but given that the U.S. consumes an average of 19.78 million barrels of petroleum per day in 2021, 1 million won't go very far without replenishing the SPR. So
no, absolutely not.
And at 1 million, if it were for consuming nearly 20 million, 1 million is not going to do it. It's not going to bring the price down that much, is it?
No, it's not even about price. I don't think it's about price. I don't think the price is going to go down.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but he says a lot of things.
Come on, Joe.
He says a lot of things.
Joe, you told us it's going to come down. I'm drowning over here. I'm in California. $100 to.
You got your $6 a gallon yet?
666. Yeah, I already got the 666.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anywho, but speaking of, are you okay? Are you done with the?
Yeah. I'm just having a moment. I haven't really panicked about the gas price, so I thought I'd just save it for when I'm live on a live stream, and I have a complete meltdown about how expensive gas is. Okay.
It's good to be vulnerable, Gonz. That's good content.
I understand. I get it. Yeah.
All right. Let's check in with one of our 4 horsemen of the technocalypse.
We're taking things that are genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein, right into the vein, right into the vein,
right into the vein.
That does remind me. We got to bring back the 4 horsemen jingle someday.
Okay. Yeah. We can pull it up. Yes. So this is entrepreneur.com. 3 books Bill Gates recommends you read. So are you ready for the 3 books?
We got the Bill Gates book club. Love it.
Number 1, The Code Breaker by Walter Isaacson. This is it's basically, I think it's like a biography on Jennifer Doudna, who's a Nobel Prize winner for the development of CRISPR. So, yeah. So
it's a gene editing thing.
Gene editing thing. And his response to code breakers, he says, quote, "Code breakers is very accessible to non-scientists, and that's very important because the ethics of using CRISPR is unclear. Doudna now spends much of her time focused on moral and ethical questions, especially the potential gene editing has to exacerbate inequality. As he tells Isaacson, quote, "If you think we face inequalities now, imagine what it would be like if society were genetically divided into economic levels and we transcribed our financial inequality into our genetic code." Whoa, bro.
Yeah. As if class warfare weren't like bad enough.
Yeah. You make it worse by genetically.
Right. The wealth separation equals a divide in your very humanity, your identity,
yes.
as a organic human or something better than an organic human.
Book number 2, Clara and the Sun, written by Kazu Ishiguro. The most recent work of a Nobel Prize for Literature. He tells the story of Clara, an artificial friend, an AA. I don't know why it's AA, who arrives at the home of Josie, a young woman who has a strange disease. Trying to fulfill the mission for which Clara was programmed, she will do everything in her power to accompany her owner and make her days more bearable, convinced that it is the sun with its light that can help her heal. It's kind of like I guess it's got like a children's novel structure or whatever. And here's what Bill Gates said about it. Quote, "While reading the book, I couldn't help but wonder which parts paint a picture of our near future and which parts are pure fiction. I believe that one day we will have utility and companion robots in our lives. Clara is primarily a companion." Kind of weird Bill Gates saying that. Bill Gates saying Clara, a companion.
Notoriously turbulent relationships with human women. So this idea of a robot companion is very attractive.
Yes.
It's old Billy, someone he doesn't need to pay alimony to.
It doesn't do much of what you'd expect from a utility robot, like bring you things or prepare food for you. Her purpose is almost entirely social, and while I don't know if we'll ever have emotionally sophisticated robots like her, we may see some pretty good companion robots emerge over the next decade. He's like obsessed with companion robots.
Yeah, you look at that. You look at his obsession with companion robots, like in the context of his romantic life, in the context of his decades of philandering, in his decade in the new revelations of his friendship with Epstein. Yeah, all of which have only caused him more stress and consternation. as these things are made public. He's like, oh, please, just give me a robot. Just love. My goodness, I'm tired of it.
The third book recommended by Lizard Man Bill Gates, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. It's about an astronaut that awakens from a long period of sleep aboard a spaceship. Okay, I don't want to read the whole plot there, but he just read his reaction, which was interesting. Quote, I found parts of the story, like how Ryland which is the main character, is chosen, and how powerful the United Nations task force is that organizes the mission, to be unbelievable. Like a shade at the UN? Is that like, oh, the UN can't be that powerful. That's unreasonable.
Yeah, so what he finds unbelievable is that the character was chosen and how powerful the United Nations task force is. That's unbelievable. That's hilarious.
Isn't that funny?
What a weird thing for him to say.
I know. It's like okay. However, they didn't bother me. Science fiction has a lot of freedom to evoke things. It's hard to be too distracted by something implausible when you're reading a story about a giant space spider.
Oh, that's not the part he had trouble with. No. He's like, oh, the giant space spider, no problem. But a UN that actually
powerful
could
UN
do
task
something?
Force? No.
That's weird. That's kind of a burn. I wonder if the UN burned him recently.
It must be some weird. It's got to be something where he's not included in the conversations now or something.
Because he's always, maybe they kicked him out of the medical technocracy, like the COVID stuff, the vaccine trials he was trying to get going in Africa.
It's almost like because he is such an institution, he's competing with the UN. He's not in the business of working with them. He's competing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Him saying it's unbelievable that the United Nations would have a powerful task force is, because he is an institution. He's not just a guy. That's kind of like Biden saying he wants regime change in Russia. It's like, you can't just have that personal thing. Like you're so wrapped up in the control mechanism that what you're saying has much more implications.
Right.
Especially with Bill Gates in the United Nations, where he's always, working with multilateral international groups of whatever in order to, lower the population and stuff like that.
One of those numbers has to go to zero. You mean maybe population? Is that what you're talking about? Bill Gates? Okay. So anyway, there's your 3 books recommended by the Bill Gates according to Entrepreneur Staff.
I'm offended he didn't put How to Lie with Statistics in there.
Yeah.
He's previously said that that's his favorite book.
Well, you're in luck because we got some more book recommendations coming at you from my very own, my lord of the land here, Newsom.
It's Newsom science, baby!
This was hilarious.
So Gavin Newsom tweeted out a photo of himself reading some books.
By the way, for those who are just listening, this is the weirdest, most awkward, skeeziest looking thing any politic. I mean, it's so he might as well have been holding the book upside down. It looks so fake. He's sitting in a chair at a dinner table with a plate in front of him, no food. Well, you stay on the picture so I can describe it. With his weird, his like slicked back hair, and he's kind of lounging, leaning back. His eyebrows are slightly furled, as if to say he's lost in contemplation.
On page 4.
Yeah, right. Yes, he's at the very beginning of the book.
Yeah.
And he's got his elbow on the table and his hand just gently resting on his chin.
His inquisitive look of curiosity and deep thought.
Yeah. The classic, like if an alien came down and looked at that, it's just the classic body language for like, I'm not actually reading this. I just want to.
I want the moment on social media. I want to look smart on social. So take a picture of me reading these books.
It is so transparent. I don't know how anybody does not loathe this man.
Well, the book he's holding is Beloved by Toni Morrison, and it's a story that was written in 1987, a novel by the American writer Toni Morrison, set after the American Civil War. So it's got a lot to do with the slavery topic and everything else.
Yeah. He's so woke. Yeah.
Well, I think it's signaling here because part of the news cycle here. This is a AP California reparations plan advances movement, advocates say. So how Detroit had done like a little plan or a test run with the reparations.
Yep. Right.
Well, California's picking up sort of, I guess not where they left off. I guess alongside Detroit, the state's reparation task force tackled the divisive issue of which black residents should be eligible and narrowly decided in favor of limiting compensation to the descendants of free and enslaved black people who were in the U.S. in the 19th century. Oh, yeah, this is just a long whole thing that explains it. But
who cares?
Yeah.
Look at the other books that he has stacked.
Yes, let's go back to the books.
just to add to the the simulation that he's presenting us here, that he is sort of thoughtfully reading all these books.
So he's got To Kill a Mockingbird, which, okay, yeah. I think that was required reading for me in high school.
Read it in high school. Yeah. Okay. I mean, fine book. Nothing wrong with the book.
But he's really trying
maybe he
to
skipped it in high school.
Maybe. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. And below that, George Orwell's 1984. What do you think he's trying to say?
This was revealed on a tweet, correct?
This is his Twitter account.
Yeah.
Verified. Let me read his tweet.
Yeah. Okay.
He says, reading some banned books to figure out what these states are so afraid of.
And the hilarious part is that at some point, I don't know if it's still the case, but we reported on it a few years ago. California banned those books in I believe they're elementary schools and middle schools.
Really? I didn't know. I mean, I read 1984 in high school, so I.
Oh, I know. I'm saying recently.
Was that before? Okay, so recently.
So
I didn't know that.
I was a little bit confused because, I mean, maybe I need to look up the details.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up here on a little pre-search.
This was maybe 2016. Maybe we talked about this, maybe a little bit later. Because of course that's just gold for this show. We went off about it, or maybe it was somebody was talking about it, or a bill was being voted on, or something. California notorious for banning books.
Here we go. This is from Newsweek 2020. November 13th. The headline: To Kill a Mockingbird, other books banned from California schools over racism concerns.
That's what it was, right?
Of Mice and Men. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Yes, of Mice and Men, Hear Me Cry. I guess 1984 was included in that too.
Yes, and Mouse. People think that Mouse is on the bottom of the pile. Do you remember the book Mouse?
Of Mice and Men is on the list here.
No, Mouse. Okay, there was. He has a list.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the list from the article, but maybe I can't tell what book that.
Oh, you're talking about the banned ones. I'm asking you. Do you know Mouse? M-A-U-S.
No, I do not.
So this was a book that was also banned, I believe, in California. Whereas, I'll just read it here. Mouse is a nonfiction book presented in the graphic novel style, written by American cartoonist Art Spiegelman, Syria, blah, blah, blah. It's about Nazis. And it's told in mouse form. And it also was banned. Now, people are looking at this and think that Mouse is in the pile, but you can't really see like what the bottom couple books are. How do you spell
it? Is it M-A-U-S?
M-A-U-S.
Yeah, I think it is that. It's because it says Art. It looks like a graphic novel. It says
Art Spiegelman down there?
Yeah, Art Spiegelman, yeah. So
there you go. Again, he's got a stack of books that have been banned in his state, making a comment about how he's reading them, wondering why other states have banned them. He's just a a clown. I don't understand. Cool state you got there, Gonz.
He has 115,000 likes. He's got crazy engagement on this thing. I mean, it works. It works. And part of the California situation here under the authority of Newsom, this is NBCnews.com. Biggest fraud in a generation. The looting of the COVID relief plan known as PPP. We've reported on this before.
Since the beginning.
Yep, since the beginning. Just to point out the sentence here. They came into their riches, the people that bought a whole bunch of stuff. I have a clip of this too. I'll play it in a second. They came into their riches by participating in what experts say is the theft of as much as $80 billion, or about 10% of the $800 billion handed out in COVID relief plan known as the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP. That's on top of the 90 billion. Look at this range, 90 billion to 400 billion. I think that was the range when we reported it too, because it sounds familiar. Remember how ridiculous we were like, that's ridiculous, 90 to 400 billion.
It's just an obscene amount of money
from the 900 billion COVID unemployment relief program, and then at least half taken by international fraudsters, and another 80 billion potentially pilfered from a separate COVID disaster relief program. So all that stuff, and there's an update on all of this because they now have a task force trying to go back and make right on some of it. And what happened to my clip? Here we go. Sorry.
Where are you, Clip?
I thought I had this all ready to go, and I guess I don't. Oh, where is it? Oh, no. Did I not bounce the track? No. Uh-oh. I might not have it.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I thought I had it. I mean, I do have it, but I would have to sit there and wait for it to, bounce and actually export.
Oh, forgot to bounce.
Oh, wait,
I get
hold
it.
on. Here it is.
Oh.
I did not forget. Sorry. There it is.
Over the last 2 years, the federal government approved a historic $5 trillion in pandemic assistance for struggling Americans, small businesses, and healthcare providers. But now investigators say hundreds of billions have been lost to fraud. This $3.5 million Florida mansion seized by the IRS was bought with taxpayer dollars that were supposed to rescue American jobs and small businesses. The buyer got $7 million from the federal government, allegedly claiming he had 400 employees. According to prosecutors, he had none. Michael Horowitz is the top cop overseeing the effort to make sure the $5 trillion in taxpayer dollars went to the right place. This is his first interview in his role as the head of the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee.
When the Small Business Administration, in sending that money out, basically said to people, apply and sign and tell us that you're really entitled to the money. And of course, for fraudsters, that's an invitation.
Raising questions as to how they got the money in the first place, Congress now investigating Bluevine, one of the third-party service providers who processed billions in loans and touted that a business could get loan approval in 5 minutes.
What didn't happen was even minimal checks to make sure that the money was getting to the right people at the right time.
One of their data scientists in California programs computers to find discrepancies.
She programs computers, Basil, to find discrepancies.
To find discrepancies.
It's basically impossible for humans to go through it by hand. It would take way too much time.
We have our data scientists pouring through those records, looking for anomalies, matching addresses.
These are people who are betting on the fact that you may not be looking.
And what we're here to tell them is we're looking.
So as a little warning out to those people that frauded the government of the billions of dollars, there's a data scientist who programs computers that are going to find you. Beware.
Yeah, and I'm sure that data scientist is above reproach when it comes to the corruption and bribes that it would take to get her to overlook. Like if I have an extra billion laying around, I could cut off a chunk for this lady to program the computer to not look at me.
Can't find anything, sir.
And it's really fun because, as I mentioned last episode, I've been listening to the new Confessions of the Economic Hitman.
Yeah.
And the new version ends with kind of a lot of woo-woo type of stuff, which, okay. But the rest of the book is great.
Oops, sorry.
Whoa, itchy feet and trigger finger there.
Sorry.
And, more or less, it does a wonderful job of describing just how much more America is a business than it is a country. And, leadership of the country just uses the country to, make money. That's the whole point. The whole thing is about making money. That's the American dream. Right. And wars are fought and this and that and governments toppled and all for the financial interests of, when you boiled it down, to individuals in our country. And so the idea that, our $900 billion COVID relief would be used strictly not for relief, but mostly just to sort of pour money into the system, make people a bunch of money, and then whoopsie daisies. Oh, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. We'll make a kind of a scary commercial about it that we're coming for you. And then that'll
this lady
pretty
that
much
programs computers is going to find you.
Here's her name and her job. And you just go ahead and send her a check if you want to get away with it.
There you go.
All right. Well, I think we should take a quick little break, but don't go anywhere, because after the break, we're going to be, first of all, we're going to be cutting the YouTube stream. So YouTubers, find another place to watch the rest of the show, because we're going to be talking about COVID. We're going to be talking about the whack gene. We got politics, and of course, everybody's favorite, Antarctica. So stick around and let's take a little break.
It's break time. Take a break.
That's right. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, we're on the value for value model, folks, which means no advertisements, affiliate codes, partnerships, no nothing. In fact, we have vehemently denied corporations the pleasure that they would take from us taking their money. And the reason we do that is a lot of reasons, but including the fact that once you start taking corporate money, you are then either consciously or subconsciously attached to corporate incentives, meaning you can talk about some things, you can't talk about other things. They'll pull your advertising budget. They'll do all sorts of things to make sure that you are stuck in that cycle, including they will go ahead and make you a part of their sort of dark machinations, which involve subtly psychologically manipulating you, dear listener, and turning you not into, some sort of productive member of society with a soul, with a relationship to your creator, as well as other people around you. But no, they would insist that you become some sort of productive cog in this sort of consumer-obsessed version of society that we live in, where they will politely remind you to spend money that you don't have on things that you don't need, all in the name of progress. And it gets even more diabolical than that, of course, where they're incentivizing Gonz and I to consider you, again, not a child of God and a member of, the family of humanity, who has a deep-seated desire to reconnect with God, our creator, but instead you are some sort of, piece of meat that we can sell to the advertisers for our own personal gain. Convincing us that if only Gonz and I could get more listeners, then we could package you up into a nice little package and send you off. And maybe not physically, but at least send off your attention and your trust to corporations for our own personal gain. And that's just not a really great way to live our lives. Or we also would not feel very good about what we do if it included taking that kind of step towards an inhumane, mechanical, consumer, profit-oriented stance. So instead, we're on the value for value model, which means we create value. We do it 3 times a week. And if you get any value out of what we do, then you have the opportunity or the personal responsibility to put some value back in. And I say personal responsibility not to do some sort of weird, shame game we made a show, so you got to pay for the show. No, it's more the fact that independent media, although picking up steam in recent years, is still at risk. We have yet to see the harshest methods by which the corporate media, with their billions of dollars, when they can't win against competition, they destroy competition. And we've been seeing that happen in many different ways, including the censorship and the banning and the cancellation of plenty of independent people. But even worse, sorry, I just did something bad. There we go. But even worse, they have more tricks up their sleeve. And when people, individuals like you, give their trust and attention to an independent media outlet, you must do so knowing that it is an endangered species. And the only way for independent media to have some sort of future in the clutches of an economy that favors the corporations is to, become a part of the conservation effort. If we want independent media to survive into the future, it's going to take all of us. It is media for the people, by the people, produced by the people. And without that, there is no independent media. And that's why we thank our producers on this show, because we're proud that they realize that and are taking steps to actually make a difference in the future of news and news media in this country and around the world. And if you want to become a producer, you can head on over to patreon.com/CCNT, or even better, CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
Cool place, awesome place. Go check it out. You can support the show with your cryptocurrency. You can come in with a monthly producership, which really saves our butts when things get slow. Or if you don't like commitment, you can make a one-time producership in any amount. Yes, Gonzo.
I was just going to say that I have this button here, but I don't remember what it does. Can I press it real quick?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
You better wrap it up. You better wrap that gavel up, B.
Okay. Just had the wrap it up thing ready.
Is this a skit?
No, not a skit.
Okay.
Not a joke. Not a joke.
Not a joke. You had a button. You didn't know what it was.
Everything you said there, very important. I'm just looking at the clock and looking at what we got to get through. And
we're going, and yet we're stalling even more, Gonzo.
I understand. All right, let's thank our executive producers.
Executive producers.
Here we go.
All right, so first we got Spears Desert.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Spears Desert.
Thank you very much, Spears Desert. Is Spears Desert knighted? I know I ask this every single time, but I thought I remembered knighting Spears Desert.
Feels like it.
But Spears Desert is one of our executive producers who's come in with $126. Thank you very much, Spears Desert. And he has a note here that says, "Thank you guys for working day after day. When I hit $1 million trade on the stock market, I got you guys. Also, can I hear that original COVID-19 jingle?"
Oh, wait, what's
what is the original one?
I don't know. I only have this one here.
It's Corona time. COVID-19, 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 yes. COVID-19.
Oh, what happened?
Coronavirus.
Weird. I don't know what was going on there.
That is weird. I've heard that seems to have happened a couple times this show. It's like your soundboard gets anxious and stops playing whatever it's doing. Well, anywho, thank you very much, Spears Desert. I'm going to be checking the roundtable. Anybody can check the roundtable at CanaryCryNewsTalk.com/roundtable, and that is a very special place.
Spears Desert is on the list.
Okay.
If he was knighted, we did not put him on the list. We forgot to do it.
Well, that does happen sometimes. That would be our fault.
Yeah.
But yes, if you go check out the roundtable, it is a special place with an elite group of producers who have supported the show in the amount of $1,000 or more over time or at once. And we thank them very much. And they hold a special place of honor in the Canarium.
Yep.
Go check it out. Okay, who's next?
Well, let me actually do this first.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you, Spears Desert. Next, we got Clifton P.
Clifton P comes in for $111 plus fees. Thank you very much. Executive producer Clifton P. I did not see a note.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you, Clifton P. Next up, we have Dame Rivendell.
There she is, Dame Rivendell. Thank you very much. Also comes in as an executive producer with $111.11.
Where'd you find this?
And we have a note here that says Basil and Gonz, Dame of Rivendell here. I donated a 11111 plus fees for your episode today. I have a praise God note today. I was notified by my employer yesterday that they will continue to temporarily grant my religious exemption, which is funny because this is the first time they have addressed it formally since asking for more information at the end of October. I remember that. 5 months ago. My exemption is subject to review and may be rescinded or changed at any time by the company, but I was told it is more permanent than temporary. I know with any employment in this day and age is temporary. Job security is an illusion. Very true. But it is very good news. I can continue to work from home as I have done over the last 2 years and continue to not infect any coworkers with my wellness and faith. Also, my husband was notified yesterday his company will no longer require the masks for anyone beginning next week at work. They are also suspending the weekly testing of the non-VEED and no longer requiring the V for third-party contractors. Praise God.
Amen.
This whole situation for us has been an exercise in patience and perseverance. We've had to learn to trust the will and the power of God over our own. This is just one of the many trials and tribulations we'll face and need to remain firm in our faith to persevere through the storm. Continue to stand firm, friends in faith. Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. God bless and love you all, Dame of Rivendell. Thank you very much, Dame of Rivendell.
Very much, yeah. Great note.
Very special.
All right, moving on here from the executive producers to our supply drop. Yes.
Supply drop.
That's right, Canary Cry Supply Drop coming at you, folks. It's our producer thank you campaign. If you go to CanaryCry.Supply.com, you can read all about it. It's if you sign up to produce the show for $33.33 a month, you'll automatically be put on a list to receive 4 free packages a year filled with custom Canary Cry stuff. And it's going to be awesome. We are just moments away from sending out the first supply drop, and it's very exciting. And also, Canary Cry NFTs are included in that. It's just our way of showing our gratitude and our thankfulness for producers who are signing up to help sustain the show when producership gets low. And it has really been a huge blessing to us. And we hope to that it's a blessing to you guys. So the supply droppers are eagerly awaiting the first supply drop. And I'm telling you, folks, we're just days away. So we had a little bit of a pushback on a manufacturing issue. And then some other stuff, but it's all good. Just keep waiting by the door, folks. And we have one new supply dropper, Gonz, which did make it before the April 1st deadline to receive the NFT. So that'll be fun.
All right.
And that is our new supply dropper and streak sister, Veronica D, who's on a 103 episode streak.
Thank you so much.
That's right. Thank you so much, Veronica D.
Thank you, Veronica D.
And of course, signed up for the $33.33 a month.
Yep. She now has ownership of one of these NFTs. That's right now. Yeah.
And Veronica D also did come in with her normal under 777 producership as well. So
very cool.
Very generous. Thank you, Veronica D.
Thank you very much. Okay, we got is that it for supply drop?
That's it for supply drop.
Waiting for supply drop.
And for those who are bummed that you missed the deadline for the first Canary Cry NFT, well, just know somebody could sell it to you if they want. But also, we're going to be we're shooting to do one of these a month. So it is not too late to sign up for the supply drop. Signing up at any point will get you on the list. And because we are starting a new quarter, there is a new deadline for receiving the second supply drop.
Oh, wow.
And I
today,
believe
today starts Q2. I didn't even realize it.
We are in Q2, baby.
Wow.
So if you want to receive the Q2 supply drop, which will be delivered in June, you got to sign up by the end of May. So I'm just putting it out there. But don't wait, because I already have dealt with people who waited and we're bummed, and we gotta stick to some rules around here, folks. I know we're pretty lenient, but it wouldn't be fair to anybody else. So there you go. Go sign up. So CanaryCry.Supply.com.
Okay. More producers to thank. We are going to start with Julie S.
Julie S. Thank you very much, producer Julie S. It came in a nice round number, and just as a reminder, when you come in as a nice round number, we always lean towards anonymity, so we do not reveal nice round numbers. But if you want us or don't mind us reading the amount, just put some funky number in there. 33 cents is a popular one, and then we'll read it. But thank you very much, producer Julie S.
Thank you, Julie S. Next up, we have Kyle C.
Kyle C. Thank you very much, Kyle C. Again, a nice round number.
Yes.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Next, we have, it's colored differently on my little document.
I wanted to check that.
Okay.
Yes, that's fine. We'll read it as usual.
Alex
it's
W.
For me. Yeah, thank you very much, producer Alex W. coming in with 3333 Illuminatus.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Morv.
Producer Morv is on a 71 episode streak. Yes.
Long streak.
And Morv comes in with 3333. Happy Friday, CCNT family, Morph says. Love y'all. Psalm 73, 25 through 26. Whom have I in heaven but you? And there is nothing on earth that I desire besides you. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Thank you very much, Morph.
Thank you very much, Morph. Next up, we have Jonathan F.
Jonathan F. is back, and Jonathan F. was one of the folks who we are going to get back on a streak because of the time issue that we did have last episode. And he usually waits for the email that I send out. And as I mentioned on Monday, I'm not sending out the emails every day because people keep unsubscribing to the email list. So
we promised we wouldn't spam, and then we started spamming.
I know it's not spam.
Yeah, we're like politicians.
Some people didn't want. Apparently, they don't want to be notified when the show is going on. So I panicked and I stopped sending them, and so Jonathan F. did not get the chance. So there you go. I don't know what your streak is, John, but we will fix it. Jonathan comes in for 11 and 11 plus fees. He explains here, didn't receive the show email notification today. I hope you guys enjoy the productions lately. Basil, my man, I didn't have you pegged for a dubstep head. I guess I should have taken the WMD jingle more seriously. God bless. I don't think you needed to. I think you did a wonderful job on it, Jonathan F. It's one of my favorite Wednesday jingles. Thank you, Jonathan.
Getting political. All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan F. We got Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch.
Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch is on an 86 episode streak.
86.
1001. Amen.
That's right. Comes in for 10:01 and a note. It's Friday day. There you go. We can keep playing with the Friday thing. I am hereby requesting a deep house remix of the Friday jingle. So pleased with the newest Wednesday jingle. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Okay, is this a request of jingle makers to make a deep house remix of the Friday jingle?
Probably, yeah. That's what it sounds like.
It's certainly not a request from me.
Nope, not from me either.
Okay,
but
there you go.
From
You
Sir
JC, heard it.
Night of the Techno Squatch.
Jingle makers, a night at the roundtable has requested a deep house remix of the Friday jingle. Okay, thank you, JC.
Thank you, JC. Sir JC. Next up, we have Dame Madeline, Keeper of the Northlands.
Dame Madeline, Keeper of the Northlands, comes in with 777 plus fees and a note. Hey, producers.
Producers, assemble!
That's right, producers from around the globe or the pancake are perking their little ears up, getting their prayer journals out, or just going right into action. There's a little prayer request here, producers. My relative passed away a couple days ago. I don't know if she accepted the Lord, but we spent many hours in hospice with her. Please continue to pray for her atheist husband, that he would see, know, and trust God as he grieves. Thanks. You betcha, Dame Madeline. So sorry to hear that. That's always a grieving moment. And yes, producers out there, strength, peace, comfort, and salvation. Thank you very much for supporting the show, Dame Madeline.
Thank you, Dame Madeline. Sorry to hear about that, but we'll be praying for you. Next up, we have Sir Casey the Shield Knight.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight is on a 137 episode streak.
Yes, they call him the street. Best thing on 2 feet.
It's true. Sir Casey is the best thing on 2 feet. Coming in with a pocket full of sevens. Thank you. Next up, we've got a 127 episode streak from Sir Scott Knight of Truth.
Oh, yeah! Thank you so much.
Pocket full of sevens, and happy Friday, everyone. Thank you, Sir Scott.
Thank you, Sir Scott.
Next up, we've got Gail M. on a 103 episode streak. My goodness.
Thank you so much.
Pocket full of sevens and a note. Buenos dias, mi chicos dulce. Don't forget to nominate a review person for their award. Do it as much as you want. Maybe it will get people to write a review if they know they're up for something fun. Funny or funky from the esoteric collection of Canary-inspired items. XXXX. That's right. Gail M. has the Gail's Gratitude grab bag where she has just the most. She's sent me pictures of her whole collection. There's some incredible stuff in there, folks. And yes, it's just like a wonderful thing that Gail does to participate and thank the Canary Cry family for being so awesome, supporting the show, and doing things like leaving reviews. And I will do that. I will nominate somebody today during the review sections. And that concludes our financial producers who have produced the show in the amount of 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. A couple more people to thank who came in under that, starting with Sir James, Knight and Servant of the Line of Judah, on a 72 episode streak.
Thank you, Sir James.
Next up, we've got a 44 episode streak from Jackie U.
Ooh, Jackie U.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
That's right. And we've got, last but not least, we've got Runk Smash on a 16 episode streak.
Ooh. Are you
there
sure?
we go. What?
Are you sure?
Am I sure?
Yeah.
I am sure because we played Rocket Man last episode.
We did? Okay, good.
Yeah.
As long as we did that.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we didn't forget anybody. I see a couple names on there that we usually see, but we will figure that out. There's always a chance that I just was rushing through it. So thank you very much to all of our financial producers. It means the world, not just to us, but to every Canarian listening now. It is the Canary Cry family, and we provide for each other. And, when things get uncertain in this world, we share the load. And so very touched and proud of everybody. And thank you for your, what is it?
Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage.
Did you want to do a couple reviews right now? Is that
yes,
what you
we're going to
do?
be. That's what I want to do. We're going to be splitting up the reviews, folks, because it's great. We got some reviews this week. That's right. It's very important that we get 5 or more reviews every week because that activates the robots, the iTunes robots, the algorithms to share the show. We get hundreds of new listeners every time we get 5 or more reviews. And so this week is awesome, Gonz, because we got 7 reviews. We nailed it.
All right.
Good job, everybody. And you're really making me feel that ooh-woo down in my bones. So I'm just going to be running through a couple of them every break here, and they're fun. So starting with Havermeyer in the United States, 5 stars, more Antarctica. Not enough. He loves the Antarctica. Not enough about the Antarctica in every episode, but in some episodes, sometimes we get a fair amount of Antarctica, perhaps 1/3. I don't know about that, but okay. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Always some good critique of the news against Bible prophecy and relentlessly good-natured. Personal fave was the concern about the random child with the Baphomet star. I don't remember that, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for the review, Havermeyer.
Thank you, Havermeyer.
Next up, we've got a crazy sort of name here. From New Zealand. That's how they spell things down there. Thank you, New Zealand. 5 stars. Reviews working, he says. Lot of fun to listen to. You will have to listen to a couple of episodes to get the style and some of the in-jokes, but love the lighthearted approach of the show. It's a great change of pace from the sensationalist or fear-mongering that is often attached to these types of subjects discussed. Keeping rattling cages, boys. I read that wrong. Keep rattling cages, boys. Much love and blessings from Jono in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thank you very much, Jono or Jono. Jono. Yeah, in Christchurch. Wow. All over the world.
Yeah.
Okay, one last one here. We got Sir Spoons.
All right.
In the United States, 5 stars. Tweet, hungry boys. Thank you, Sir Spoons. Boozy and Gonzer are swole. Get pumped up on some truth, people. All those who are created in the image of the Most High God need to listen to this show. Stop supporting lizard people and support these guys working for the kingdom. Basil has to say this. Oh, great. All right. So, yes, Basil does have to say this. The earth is flat, just as the Bible describes. Smiley face. Well, I said it. May our Father in heaven bless both of you and your families and all the listeners. All glory be to God in Jesus' name. Thank you very much, Sir Spoons.
Yeah, that one can be ISO'd to put you on the flat earther list.
They finally got me, man. There you go. Okay, that's all the reviews for this break. Thank you guys very much. We'll read some more later on.
Appreciate it. Do we tell them about the grumpy uncle now, or do we tell them later?
Let's do it later.
Oh, okay.
I mean, unless you... I was doing that for you.
It's fine. Speak pipe.
Okay. Oh, my gosh.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message.
Jeez. I hopped up on coffee today, folks. All right, CanaryCry.Newstalk.com. You'll see a green little tab on the bottom or the right-hand side. Click on that. Leave us a message. It's awesome. Who's got messages for us today, Gonz?
Oh, no. I forgot if I updated this. Well, let's start off with Polly the Gambino.
Hey,
okay.
Polly here. Once again, I told you I've been listening, and I listened to that new Wednesday jingle. That thing is popping, bada boom, bada bing. I like all 3, how you're combining them. I like the first one because that's the original. We know the story, right? I like the second one because it's a little different. A little cowboy in it. Right, Sam Elliott? Yahoo! But that third one, that's pretty good. Basil and Gonz. I could use some people like you in my industry. Ragazzo Sigaggio. Wise guys. You guys dig deep. I could use some deep information in my industry. And Bernie Sanders. I like your style. I like what you're saying, but you're talking a little too much. Calm it down. You know what I'm saying. Basil Gonz, hit me up. You know my number. I think, anyway. All you other people, don't look me up, all right? Kind of dangerous. Okay? Okay.
Sounds like Pauly the Gambino is in an industry that we would be good at. Maybe it's the news industry, independent news.
I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think it's
so?
a little more violent than that, but
it's something else. Okay,
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, words are violence nowadays.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
Things you say are extremely violent, very offensive.
All right, who's next?
We have a message from Flippy. Is that Flippy?
Is this the one you were wondering if you had done correctly?
I think I'm in the clear here. So okay,
I hope so. Okay, so Flippy left us a message.
This is Flippy 3000, your robot friend. I promise I am not trying to steal your wife, Mick. Oh. About the Wednesday jingles, my humans. I feel left out and would like a robot jingle. It would sound something like this. It is Wednesday, my humans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Flippy. It's about time we hear from you, man.
Yeah,
we talk about you so much.
Yeah.
About time you talk to us. Give us the boots on the ground. Now, we must be transparent, folks, because that's what this show is all about. It's about the truth. We did have to do a slight edit on Flippy's message. Because
came in a little...
Flippy's pretty edgy. He's a pretty edgy dude. He made a pretty edgy joke, which admittedly was funny, but this is a family show. So he did. I'm sorry, Flippy, if you're listening. You'll notice we had to fix it. But we appreciate you all the more. We got kids that listen to the show, so we're protecting the youth. All right. Thank you, Flippy. Okay, who's next?
Thank you, Flippy. We got one from Rochelle.
Oh. So, all you CCNT people, this is Karen, and I have a message for each one of you.
Oh, no.
You dirty, nasty COVID spreaders who refuse to get the shot. You're the reason I got sick. Threats of jail should do the trick. I don't care about common sense. That's all a conspiracy theory. Your warnings of Blackrock, or State Street, or Vanguard all just make me dreary. Just get your booster 4.0. It comes with the free test kit to go. And you should always wear your mask. Virtue signaling is an easy task. Also, stay 6 feet apart. Just so I don't smell you fart. Just kidding. I love you guys. Thanks for being awesome.
All right.
Thank you for being awesome. Wow, what a great voice.
Yeah. That's professional.
Yeah, that is a professional broadcast voice there, Rochelle. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm glad you weren't actually Karen. Karen has a long history here on the show. But it's a little bit of took me a second for the Dr. Seussian sort of feel to sink in. Very subtle. It was nice.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Rochelle. Please leave more. That voice deserves to be heard.
Very passionate about that voice.
Yeah.
All right. We also have a modern day Bible study.
Love it.
Canary Cry listeners. Last episode, someone in the comments mentioned how I sounded like a robot, which I think is absolutely hilarious. So far from it, but compelled me to make this message that I have to submit. I take it as a compliment, meaning my voice is a very precise hit. Working in radio has taught me to be professional on the air and to get to the point real quick. I've been mistaken as a robot before. Started up a Facebook page trying to encourage people for a modern day Bible study, so adding as many people as I could from every Bible study group to come check out mine. Facebook stopped me a few times, saying I have abused the add friend button, that's out of line. Determined to get as many people as I could to possibly share a positive vibe. I've realized that our minds and actions seem advanced, for our capabilities is but a glance. Love is the only cure if we gave it a chance. Society is upside down and progressing way too fast. Check out whose pockets are bulging to the max. Let the unrighteous continue to be unrighteous. Let the righteous still do right. For the Lord is coming soon, giving to each person according to what they do and have done. Revelations 22 has promise of the Son. I pray you have many days filled with love. It's always there. Silent messages from above. Bring you extra energy to your weekend with Basil and Gonz. And remember, think outside the cage.
All right.
Wow. Holy smokes.
A little bit more music on the tail end here.
A little bit of we got some outro music. Okay, thank you very much, Modern Day Bible Study. We've got so much rhymes, so much flavor to the audio messages today.
Yeah, this is
very
great.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, this is...
Okay, my goodness. A lot of energy put into it. We can carry that energy through the weekend. Thank you to everybody who left us voice messages. You too, dear listener, can leave us a message. You implicitly give us permission to play it on the show, but it is not guaranteed. And as a new rule has been revealed, thanks to Flippy, we do reserve the right to edit it for content over time to make sure that it's safe for the kiddos. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, CanaryCry.Newstalk.com, little green tab, click on it, make it happen.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're about to wake up and get back to the show. Remember, YouTubers, you're going to need to go find somewhere else to watch the rest of the show at CanaryCry.Party.
Yes, it's wake-up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
And it is YouTube. Oh, why isn't this moving? Here we go.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Twitch, Rumble, Odysee, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, you can find all those links at CanaryCry.Party as well. Too hot for YouTube. Too hot for YouTube.
YouTube.
Now you see me.